Verstappen Sim Racing, the team formerly known as Team Redline, arguably the most successful sim racing outfit ever, standardizes its entire roster on one brand of wheelbase. Their drivers won the Rennsport R One Team Championship 3 years running. Kevin Siggy, one of their pros, says nothing else compares. The brand is Simucube. And the obvious assumption is they use it because it's the most expensive thing available. That's not quite it. Start with the one that actually matters for lap time, because it's the least understood. Every sim sends your wheelbase the same raw physics data. What reaches your hands is that data after the manufacturer's firmware has processed it. Every brand makes a choice about how much to intervene. Some amplify it, some smooth it, some add effects on top to make the wheel feel livelier than the signal really is. Simucube's whole design philosophy is to intervene as little as possible. Their TrueDrive software is built around exposing the sim's telemetry directly and getting out of the way. Run the reconstruction filter low and the output tracks the game's signal about as closely as anything on the market. No canned effects dressing it up. That's the fidelity argument, and here's why it turns into pace. When you're driving at the limit, the thing you're listening for is small. The front tire just beginning to wash, the rear going light a fraction before it actually goes. Those are subtle signals, and anything the base adds on top of them, smoothing, amplification, mechanical grain, buries them slightly. You end up guessing where the edge is instead of feeling it. A transparent base gives you that moment cleanly and early, so you can sit right on the edge instead of a safe margin below it, because you can feel exactly where it is. That's the whole mechanism. It doesn't create pace, it removes a ceiling. The speed was always in the driver, they just get access to more of it. And at a level where the grid is separated by tenths, that's worth real money. James Baldwin puts it plainly, at the highest level of sim racing, when the grid is a few tenths apart, every tiny detail counts. The hardware underneath supports that. Sub-millisecond latency and 2 separate processors, one handling motor control and one handling the PC connection. So the latency stays stable rather than drifting under load. A 22-bit absolute encoder, which is over 4 million distinct points of position per revolution. An industrial robotics grade motor rigidly coupled to the wheel. Now the reason that has nothing to do with speed, and honestly might matter more, reliability. Simucube's product return rate is under 1%. Tens of thousands of units running for years. And for a professional, that's not a convenience thing, it's the whole point. If you're doing a 24-hour event, or you're a real-world driver learning a circuit before a race weekend, hardware that fails or drifts or behaves differently on Tuesday than it did on Monday doesn't just annoy you. It corrupts the thing you're using it for. Baldwin again, the greatest thing about Simucube is the reliability. Never had a single issue. Juan Pablo Montoya says the Simucube 2 Pro gave him the confidence and consistency to stay at the top. That word, consistency, keeps coming up, and it's not marketing. If your reference point moves, your training is worthless. Then there's tuning depth. Simucube lets you adjust the frequency bandwidth of the signal processing itself, not just a few sliders. For someone who knows exactly what they're chasing, that's the difference between adapting the wheel to you and adapting yourself to the wheel. And they support things for an absurd length of time. They shipped a software update for the original Simucube 1 8 years after it launched. If you're a team buying a fleet of these, that matters. Right, the honest part, because I'm not gonna sell you a €1,500 wheelbase without it. Some of this is sponsorship. They partner with Verstappen, Sim Racing, and Team Redline. When you see a champion on Simucube hardware, part of that is a commercial relationship, and pretending otherwise would be dishonest. Second, and this is the important one for you, none of the fidelity argument helps you if you're not at the limit. If you're braking with a comfortable margin, still learning tracks, still finding pace in your own consistency, a more transparent signal is information about an edge you're not touching. You're not being held back by your wheelbase. Buying one won't fix it. And third, the gap closed. Simagic and Acetec get genuinely close now, at meaningfully less money. Simucube still owns outright refinement and software maturity, but it's not the untouchable position it was 5 years ago. Which brings me to the detail I like most in all of this. Even the pros don't buy the most expensive Simucube. The Simucube 2 Pro remains the standard choice on professional rigs, and the reason given is that going higher to the 32 Nm Ultimate or the newer 3 Series is more about prestige than any functional improvement in lap time. So the people who genuinely could use every last bit of fidelity, who are separated by tenths, who have sponsors paying for it, still stop before the top of the range. That tells you something. The fidelity is worth paying for. The number on the box, past a point, isn't.